I turned 25 with exactly $287 to my name. And that wasn't my fun money for the month. That was it, total. The sum of my entire financial existence. I had a college degree, a decent job, and a social life that looked amazing on Instagram, but behind the scenes, I was standing on a cliff's edge and a storm was brewing. For years, I treated money like a problem for future me. I swiped my credit card like it was free money. I let my student loan statements pile up unopened, and the word budget felt like a four-letter word. My bank account was a revolving door. Money came in on payday and immediately vanished to cover rent, minimum payments, and a lifestyle I honestly couldn't afford. I was living with this quiet, constant hum of panic in the back of my head, knowing I was one unexpected car repair away from total disaster. The breaking point wasn't some big dramatic movie moment. It was the slow, humiliating realization that I was a grown man who couldn't take care of himself. That was the moment I decided to stop being a passenger in my own financial life and finally get behind the wheel. I didn't have a rich uncle or a winning lottery ticket. All I had was the decision to learn the rules of the game I had been ignoring for so long. The system I'm about to share is the exact one I used to go from nearly broke at 25 to crushing my debt, building real savings, and actually starting to invest before I turned 30. These are the 5 things you absolutely must know about money in your 20s. Section 1. The foundation. You need a budget, and it's not a swear word. All right, first rule of taking back control is the one everyone loves to hate, budgeting. But I need you to forget everything you think you know about it. A budget is not a financial straitjacket designed to make you miserable. It's not about restriction, it's about permission. A good budget doesn't scream, "No, you can't have that." It calmly says, "Yes, you can have that because you planned for it." It is the single most powerful tool for killing financial anxiety because it replaces guesswork with a genuine plan. For years, I operated on a vibe-based budget. If there was money in my checking account, I felt like I could spend it. If there wasn't, I'd panic. That is no way to live. The goal of a budget is just to create a plan for your income. You're just telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. The easiest way to start is the 50-30-20 rule. It's brilliant for beginners because it's so simple. Here's how it works. You take your after-tax income, the actual cash that hits your bank account, and you split it 3 ways. 50% for needs. These are your survival bills, the non-negotiables. This includes stuff like rent or mortgage, utilities, electricity, water, the basics. Groceries, actual food, not your fancy Friday night sushi. Transportation to work, like your car payment or a bus pass. Insurance for your health and car. And, this is key, the minimum payments on all your debts. 30% for wants. This is the fun stuff, the expenses that make life worth living but aren't strictly necessary for survival. Things like dining out, ordering takeout, and grabbing coffee. Entertainment, concert tickets, movies, and your dozen streaming subscriptions. Hobbies and shopping for things you don't need. Travel and vacations. 20% for savings and debt repayment. This is the category that builds your future. This 20% is your powerhouse for getting ahead. It goes toward building an emergency fund, making extra payments on high-interest debt, saving for retirement and other investments. Let's make it real. Say your take-home pay is $3,000 a month. 50% for needs. You have $1,500 to cover rent, utilities, groceries, and minimum payments. If your needs are way over 50%, that's a flashing red light that you might be living above your means. 30% for wants. You get $900 a month to spend on restaurants, hobbies, and fun, completely guilt-free. You have permission to spend this money because you planned for it. 20% for savings. You have $600 a month to put toward your financial goals. This is the money that will completely change your life. So here's your first move. For the next 30 days, just track your spending. Don't change a thing yet. Just write down where every dollar goes using an app or a simple spreadsheet. At the end of the month, sort it into needs, wants, and savings, and see how you stack up against 50, 30, 20. This one act of awareness is the first giant leap toward taking back control. Section 2. Build your financial fire extinguisher. The emergency fund. Okay, once you have a budget, you can finally start telling your money where to go. The very first place a chunk of your savings money needs to go is into an emergency fund. Think of it as your personal financial fire extinguisher. You hope you never have to use it, but if a fire breaks out, you'll be damn grateful. It's there. An emergency fund is a pile of cash set aside only for true emergencies. What's an emergency? Losing your job, a surprise medical bill, your car's transmission giving up. What's not an emergency? A last-minute trip to Vegas, a flash sale on a new TV, or festival tickets. This money is the buffer between a bad day and a financial catastrophe. It's what stops one unexpected event from pushing you into years of high-interest debt. It's a scary thought, but recent bank rate surveys show that a majority of Americans can't afford to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. You need to make sure you're not one of them. The ultimate goal is to save 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. Look at your needs category from your budget. That's your monthly target. If your essential bills are $1,500 a month, your fully funded emergency fund should be between $4,500 and $9,000. I know what you're thinking. That number sounds impossible. And when you're starting from zero, it is. So forget that number for now. Your first goal is way simpler and much more achievable. $1,000. We'll call it a starter emergency fund. A $1,000 buffer is enough to handle most of life's annoying surprises. A new set of tires, a trip to the ER, a broken dishwasher, without derailing your entire life. Here's your action plan. Open a separate high-yield savings account. Critically, do it at a different bank than your main checking account. That little bit of friction makes it harder to dip into for non-emergencies. Label the account Emergency Fund Do Not Touch. Automate it. Look at your budget and decide how much you can afford to send to this fund from every paycheck, even if it's just $25. Set up an automatic transfer for the day after you get paid. This is called paying yourself first, and it guarantees you're building your safety net before you buy a single latte. Building this fund isn't about speed. It's about consistency. The day you hit that $1,000 goal, you'll have bought yourself priceless peace of mind. Then, you can keep slowly building it while you start attacking the next monster. Section 3. Destroying Debt, Your Get Out of Jail Free Card. Let's talk about the monster in the closet for most of us in our 20s. Debt. I'm not talking about a mortgage or even most student loans. I'm talking about high-interest consumer debt. That soul-crushing 22%, 24%, or even higher APR on your credit card that's been lingering for months or years. For the longest time, I just made minimum payments, thinking I was being responsible. I was so wrong. Minimum payments are a trap. They're designed by the banks to keep you in debt for as long as humanly possible because they are almost all interest. If you have a $5,000 balance at a 22% interest rate and only pay the minimum, it could take you over 20 years and cost you thousands upon thousands in interest to pay it off. Making only minimum payments is like trying to bail out a sinking boat with a teaspoon. To get ahead, you have to get aggressive. You must pay more than the minimum. The most motivating way for most people to do this is the debt snowball method. It's less about math and more about momentum. It's designed to give you quick wins to keep you in the fight. Here's how the debt snowball works. List all your debts, except your mortgage, from the smallest balance to the largest. Don't worry about the interest rates yet. It might look like store credit card, $500, Visa credit card, $2,500, student loan, $15,000. Focus all your firepower on the smallest debt. Pay the minimum on everything else, but throw every extra dollar you can squeeze from your budget at that smallest debt. That extra $100 or $150 you save by eating in goes straight to that $500 store card. Celebrate the win, then roll the payment. Once that first debt is gone, you've tasted victory. Now you take the entire amount you were paying on it, the minimum plus all your extra cash, and snowball it onto the next smallest debt. So if you were paying $150 on the store card, you now add that to the minimum payment for your $2,500 Visa. You're now hitting that second debt with a much bigger hammer, and it will disappear so much faster. Rinse and repeat. You keep doing this, rolling each paid-off debt's payment into the next one. The snowball gets bigger and bigger until you're an unstoppable debt-destroying machine. This method works because it gives you momentum. Seeing that first account hit zero is an incredible feeling. It proves the system works and lights a fire under you to keep going. Now, if you're a numbers person, you might prefer the debt avalanche method, where you attack the debt with the highest interest rate first. Mathematically, you'll save more money on interest. But both work. The key is to pick one and commit. This is just the beginning. In Part 2, which drops next Friday, I'm revealing the final results. You won't want to miss that one. Make sure you're subscribed so you can follow along with the rest of this project. See you in the next video.